Only 3 months into the year 2020, and my world as I knew it ended. Ironically, it was Friday the 13th when I drove from Clemson to my home in Georgia, and I was very excited because I had so many plans for the rest of my semester. I had plans to leave Georgia in 2 days, headed for a beach holiday over my spring break from Clemson University. I had plans to go out with friends to celebrate both my birthday and my husband's birthday later in April. I had plans to spend a weekend in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Georgia to celebrate the end of my last semester as a graduate student. I had plans to pick up my son and a good friend of mine at the Atlanta airport one day before my graduation. I had plans to walk at my commencement ceremony on May 8th and become part of a Clemson tradition where graduates receive their diplomas in person and shake the hand of Clemson University's president, Jim Clements. I had so many plans, but this 20th year of the 21st century had other plans for humanity, a worldwide health crisis. While I was making my plans, the novel coronavirus was making its way through many countries, including the United States. Covid-19 pandemic and sheltering in place quickly became common phrases in the news, emails, and social media posts. So over the next several weeks into March and April, I watched the changes taking place. Beaches were closed, so I canceled my trips. My family business, which transports people and runs school bus routes in Atlanta, was obligated to shut down operations, and my husband, along with all other employees, were furloughed. So after working for 37 years, my husband filed for unemployment for the very first time. Restaurants were forced to close their doors to the public, so I canceled our April birthday bashes. Clemson University canceled all commencement ceremonies, so my guests canceled their flights. And no, I had not planned for any of those situations. Sadness and frustration set in. A few weeks went by, and I began to realize that I still had a lot of plans. What seemed like the end of my world back on that Friday the 13th actually became the beginning of a changed world for me and many others. A world where most of us would discover online meeting apps to continue to work. A world where we follow shelter-in-place orders and thus we protect one another. A world where virtual birthday parties happen with friends visiting via Zoom. A world where I no longer go more than 1 week without checking on or talking to my friends. A world where my son FaceTimes me weekly. A world where a lot of people are tangibly reaching out to help one another, like we see Evan Roseman reaching out to delivery drivers.
What's up, man?
Are you taking one of these?
Yeah, absolutely. It's free.
Oh man, you're a life changer. Thank you. Can I take one of these too?
Yeah.
Thank you, man. I went to Walmart. It's kind of hard though, but I got out and had a look. I didn't get no toilet paper though.
Thank you for working hard, man. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
A world where I spend 24/7 with my husband and my 2 precious doggies, and I cannot complain I must stay home. A world where toilet paper scarcity leads to some interesting negotiations with friends.
So, if you do not have money, I will accept barter in trade for toilet paper. 10 minutes per roll of driving the Tesla, or something similar.
What about beef Wellington?
Ooh, a beef Wellington for a dozen rolls. How about that? Well, 2 beef Wellingtons, one for me and one for Joelma. So how about that?
A world where my students from Clemson University, despite their young age, proved to be unstoppable and resilient by continually doing excellent work. A world where I have observed the courage we have as human beings to adapt and survive. This changed world witnessed a shift in human actions and the use of technology, like buying food supplies from a car window and off the back of a vendor's truck.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good.
Need to get your name and your phone number.
Okay. You want that card? Would that help? Use the 404-419-1 number.
Ready?
Yeah. He already took my order.
already took it?
Yeah.
I noticed that a lot more people has become focused on spreading positive messages on their social media profiles. Now, I'm not saying humanity is not paying a high price, because we all know it is. As a global society, we have lost too many to this pandemic, and I do feel deep sadness for those suffering. But as I reflect on my personal journey, coping with COVID-19 pandemic, I realize my world actually did not come to an end. It simply changed, and looking back, I feel a slight sense of shame for thinking that any of my original plans were essential to my well-being. That shame also makes me feel grateful for all the aspects of my life that have not changed. I am still a mother, a wife, a friend, a teacher, and a Clemson Tiger.